This is the third part of my interview with Khalid Al Madani. If you haven't done, please watch part 1 where we presented the definition of a platform business model, and also I would like to invite you to watch part 2 where we spoke about the network effect concept. You're also welcome to keep watching this video as we're going to discuss about the chicken or the egg problem and how to learn with successful platforms to launch your own network business.
Can we bring all this theory or this content or the valuable content to the startup world, to those entrepreneurs that the biggest challenge is to overcome difficulties, learn new concepts, different business models, and try to create, their products, their MVPs, and attract the first users. We know it's not easy because of the way the platform is designed. It's not easy to attract more than one group of users at the same time. Do you have any tips or ideas for those guys that are trying to launch their marketplaces? What can they do to solve, the famous chicken or the egg problem?
Yes, again, I would like to thank you for this amazing question, because again, you are giving me the chance to clarify another misperception that I receive when I encounter with entrepreneurs and the startups. I will answer this question in two parts, or let's say in two dimensions. The first part is the straightforward, the basic, the easy one, where we are living in an environment in a world that we don't need actually sometimes to reinvent the wheel. If I want to establish a new platform-based business model or a platform company or multi-sided company, maybe all what I need to do is go few years back and see the example of the existing companies that are running up today and see how they started. And from this analogy, some people created strategy, tactics, by extracting an information and knowledge from previous experiences. So we can go through some of them just as a matter of clarifying the bandwidth, let's say, of how we can overcome and tackle the challenge of chicken or egg situation. So for example, as a startup, you can start by, for example, let's say first, leveraging a pre-existing physical infrastructure, like what Facebook actually did when they launched at Harvard. There was a physical infrastructure, Harvard University, and Facebook launched on that physical infrastructure. Two, by leveraging pre-existing products or services. And this will take us, for example, to Amazon. Amazon, at the early days, what they did, they provided us with a better delivery service to an existing product, which is book. So basically, they leveraged an existing service, which is the US Postal, and an existing product, which is book in the bookstore, but they managed to give us a better experience, faster experience of receiving the book. Netflix did the same. They leveraged the existing slow or unutilized, let's say, the US Postal Service to deliver the DVD. Three, you can, for example, leverage on algorithm. And here, the most famous example might be Google. Google, what they did, they leveraged on the link itself. They didn't create the content. They didn't create the web page. They didn't create, at the early days, even the browser. They just provided us with a mechanism, the link, to actually find what we want. Maybe let's say number four, just for the ease of sequence. Number four, maybe you can start with one site. And here I can immediately recall OpenTable. What they did, they solve a pain point for the restaurant industry by giving them a tool, management reservation service tool, to help them with a problem. And then after a few years, they benefited from the network effect concept. You can use one side, number 5, let's say, you can use one side to encourage the other side. And this was the secret sauce of Etsy. You can, for example, number 6, let's say, you can seed one side to ignite traction. And this was the technique the most famously with the, let's say, the dating sites where they put a lot of fake accounts just to show a lot of liquidity. You can start, number 7, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can start with a niche and then go to adjacent markets. Number 8, let's say, you can use the famous piggybacking technique, and this is what Airbnb did on Craigslist, what PayPal did on eBay, that you have an existing virtual network and you can utilize it. It's like a bee coming there and sucking all the juice or all the honey from an existing network. You can, for example, let's say number, I think 8, 9 maybe, you can use the so-called event strategy. And I think Twitter are the mastermind here, where they launched at a festival. You can use famous people, stars, VIP. And this was the technique of the gaming industry, where they brought famous people like Ninja Ali to actually attract the teenager and the kids. So I can refer you, and I think maybe the best source for the chicken and eggs, there is a famous article by James Courier, the 19 tactic, I think, 19 tactic for solving chicken and eggs problem. This is a very rich content that the startup, they can go through. However, as we said, this is the easy part. Allow me, Gustavo, to a little bit open my heart to the startup industry and to have a little bit, it's not a harsh talk, it's not a harsh language, but it's a reflection of my interaction with entrepreneurs and with the startups. It's one thing to codify the know-how, the knowledge of previous experiences, extract from these amazing examples. But it's totally something else to try to replicate the success of these examples. Unfortunately, some people, they see the easiness or the clarity of the strategy, and they think they can put it on top of their idea and everything will be clear for them to start the launch. I would like to say that it's a bit too late for the people who want to start now to think that by replicating these strategies, merely replicating the strategy and putting it on top of their idea, that they will be able to extract the data, to leverage the data, to mesmerize the attention, to commoditize the supply side, to control the demand side, to actually then having in a stage that the third-party advertiser will run after them to fund their money-making machine, and then eventually become the next Mark Zuckerberg. Actually, I think we are a bit late to dance in this party. There is a fact, and the startup community need to embrace it and need to look at it beyond some sort of the shiny definitions strategy. That I don't think we disagree that most of us, maybe we missed the real estate boom. We missed the bull market following the financial crisis. Some of us missed the Bitcoin madness. I just want, unfortunately, add a fourth layer here. If you are a platform and if you want to start now, you need to swallow the following fact. You missed the easy, please focus on the easy exponential growth and the low hanging fruit. You missed that. You need to live with this. However, the good news that there is a plenty of fruits hanging there on top. There is a plenty of things that you do, but you need to build your platform, your ideology on a much broader, much progressive, much deeper fundamental. Because honestly speaking, if, and unfortunately, I hear this, and there is a recurring theme when I interact with entrepreneurs and the startup, there is the notion that their idea is built on a notion that data and attention are the new currency. And I don't have a problem with that. But if you believe that data and attention are the new currency, then you must accept the fact that you have a new Federal Reserves. You have new central banks. And these central banks and Federal Reserve are Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Alibaba, etc. And if it's that easy to just extract the data and the attention, then these people, these Federal Reserve and central bank who control the reserve, the attention reserve ratio and the data interest rate, they can on every single day build or create an SPV or create a subsidiary and pop up like a mushroom platform-based businesses. But they know that this is not that easy. So from here, my advice that startup need to build their fundamentals, their concept, their idea on a progressive basis, and every single aspect of the platform, the value proposition, the growth ideology, the monetization framework, what we just explained, the integration between the value chain and the network chain, and the integration, the horizontal integration into the end user, the producer, and the consumer of value. This should be subject to evolve over time. Unfortunately, you can't be the next search engine. So if you want to enter this, which I don't recommend, by the way, you need to enter with a different mind setup, not just leveraging algorithm. And this is the point that I want to emphasize. But unfortunately, we might not have the luxury of time to tackle every single point or every single item. But I am sure that Gustavo is generous enough to refer you to the relevant post or article that tackle these things in more detail. I personally, every single one, like the value proposition, the growth ideology, which I call it longevity growth, the value chain, the monetization, I have separate posts as well as a comprehensive white paper explaining them. We just need to challenge each other and not just accept on the surface catchy phrases and then just go and try to, let's say, mimic it. And this is my honest, open heart advice to the startup community. Thank you.
Thank you, Khalid Al Madani. Thank you very much for your collaboration with our channel. And if you are trying to create a multi-sided platform, if you are a startup or want to learn more about as an investor, please visit our website, startupspace.io, and learn about our programs. and how we can help you to design and grow marketplaces. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the notification of the next videos we release.